guys, it's Benny. It's become a meme on the right to say you live in the pod, you eat the bugs. But do you know that is actually the agenda of the global elites, to take away all of your civil liberties, including, but not limited to, home ownership. Private property is something that must be done away with. Just read the Communist Manifesto. These people are communists at the World Economic Forum, and they want to oppress you. They make videos about it, about how all Americans and all people should be moved into effectively shanty towns, like they have in South Africa, or like failed states, like they set up inside of refugee zones. Nobody should be able to own private property anymore. All of you can just live in the pod and eat the bugs, because you'll own nothing. There's a real advertisement. They've taken these down, by the way. They've removed them from the internet. You'll own nothing. You'll have to rent everything via drone. You can see the little watermark there. They want you to eat the bugs. They release videos saying how we have to get rid of all the cows. You must eat the crickets. Crickets are good in protein. Look, we're flaming a scorpion. You're all going to eat scorpions for the rest of your life. Don't let them sting you in your throat hole. You know what stings in the throat hole is when you actually listen to the contents of the panels at the World Economic Forum and hear things like this.
In a place where we have increasing polarization everywhere, and everything feels binary when it doesn't need to be. So I think we're going to have to think about a recalibration of a whole range of human rights that are playing out online, you know, from freedom of speech to the freedom to, you know, to be free from online violence.
Oh, okay. Freedom of speech. We're going to have to recalibrate our human rights. What does it say about these people? Well, they're lizard people. They don't believe in human rights. You can't recalibrate human rights. You either have rights or you don't. And it's why it's good to mock these people. These are some of my favorite Tucker Carlson segments.
What does it need to master the future? I think to have a platform where all stakeholders of global society are engaged.
We must masters of future. Masters of future.
Saying that Trump might be elected again.
What does it mean, though, for these people that Donald Trump just won in a landslide? Board member for the World Economic Forum and resident lizard person, a guy named Yuval Harari, who is, look very closely at this individual. Truly, the banality of evil is embodied in this individual, explaining what Trump means.
I think it's very likely. And if it happens, it is likely to be the kind of like the death blow to what remains of the global order.
That sounds awesome to me. And ladies and gentlemen, President Trump, guess who's back? Back again. Yeah, the World Economic Forum is going on right now in Davos, Switzerland. And Donald Trump decided to go and roast them, the globalist elites, to their faces. But unlike 2020, where Donald Trump was just very lightly tapping them, Donald Trump arrived with a blowtorch today. Donald Trump beginning his speech, he was doing this digitally, by effectively calling out all of their failures to their faces and saying, I am legend. I am here to destroy you. I am the great reckoning and the black hand, and you will have nothing left after I am done destroying the liberal world order. Let's begin, ladies and gentlemen. Immigration, crime, inflation. I've made it official U.S. policy that there are only two genders. Boom.
That's why from the moment I took office, I've taken rapid action to reverse each and every one of these radical left policies that created this calamity, in particular with immigration, crime, and inflation. On day one, I signed an executive order directing every member of my cabinet to marshal all powers at their disposal to defeat inflation and reduce the cost of daily life. I imposed a federal hiring freeze, a federal regulation freeze, a foreign aid freeze, and I created the new Department of Government Efficiency. I terminated the ridiculous and incredibly wasteful Green New Deal. I call it the Green New Scam. Withdrew from the one-sided Paris Climate Accord and ended the insane and costly electric vehicle mandate. We're going to let people buy the car they want to buy. I declared a national energy emergency, and it's so important, national energy emergency, to unlock the liquid gold under our feet and pave the way for rapid approvals of new energy infrastructure. The United States has the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth, and we're going to use it. Not only will this reduce the cost of virtually all goods and services, it will make the United States a manufacturing superpower and the world capital of artificial intelligence and crypto. My administration has also begun the largest deregulation campaign in history, far exceeding even the record-setting efforts of my last term. And I've made it official, an official policy of the United States, that there are only two genders, male and female. And we will have no men participating in women's sports, and transgender operations, which became the rage, will occur very rarely.
Donald Trump moving quickly along the lines of taking Joe Biden's entire legacy and shoving it into a trash compactor. Donald Trump demolishing Biden. My administration will act fast to fix the disasters inherited by the Biden regime. He lost control of what's going on in our country.
And going to do. My administration is acting with unprecedented speed to fix the disasters we've inherited from a totally inept group of people and to solve every single crisis facing our country. This begins with confronting the economic chaos caused by the failed policies of the last administration. Over the past 4 years, our government racked up $8 trillion in wasteful deficit spending and inflicted nation-wrecking energy restrictions, crippling regulations, and hidden taxes like never before. The result is the worst inflation crisis in modern history and sky-high interest rates for our citizens and even throughout the world. Food prices and the price of almost every other thing known to mankind went through the roof. President Biden totally lost control of what was going on in our country, but in particular with our high inflation economy and at our border. Because of these ruinous policies, total government spending this year is $1.5 trillion higher than was projected to occur when I left office just 4 years ago. Likewise, the cost of servicing the debt is more than 230% higher than was projected in 2020. The inflation rate we are inheriting remains 50% higher than the historic target. It was the highest inflation probably in the history of our country. That's why from the moment I took office, I've taken rapid action to reverse each and every one of these radical left policies that created this calamity, in particular with immigration, crime, and inflation.
Then during a question and answer time, Donald Trump decided to flame the head of Bank of America, who's guilty of deplatforming American citizens, debanking them. Donald Trump went straight for the jugular here.
Where you're going to bring it down to 15%, which is really something. And by the way, speaking of you, and you've done a fantastic job, but I hope you start opening your bank to conservatives, because many conservatives complain that the banks are not allowing them to do business within the bank, and that included a place called Bank of America. They don't take conservative business. And I don't know if the regulators mandated that because of Biden or what, but you and Jamie and everybody, I hope you're going to open your banks to conservatives, because what you're doing is wrong.
Mr. President, I'll say that your friend Gianni said hello, told me to tell you hello, and we look forward to sponsoring the World Cup when it comes both this summer for the club and next year. So thank you for getting that for the United States.
Donald Trump then absolutely clobbering this global order with the promises of tariffs. Of course, the point of the World Economic Forum is that there should be no borders, there should be no tariffs, there should be no countries, and that all trade should just go to the lowest common denominator. All products should be made in third world hellscapes. No good jobs should ever exist inside of first world countries. No good paying jobs. Like, the goal is actually that first world countries are too advanced, and we must rewind the clock, right? We must make everybody serfs and slaves to us. Here's Donald Trump just atomizing that.
I have promised to eliminate 10 old regulations for every new regulation, which will soon put many thousands of dollars back in the pockets of American families. To further unleash our economy, our majorities in the House and Senate, which we also took along with the presidency, are going to pass the largest tax cut in American history, including massive tax cuts for workers and family, and big tax cuts for domestic producers and manufacturers. And we're working with the Democrats on getting an extension of the original Trump tax cuts, as you probably know, by just reading any paper. My message to every business in the world is very simple. Come make your product in America, and we will give you among the lowest taxes of any nation on earth. We're bringing them down very substantially, even from the original Trump tax cuts. But if you don't make your product in America, which is your prerogative, then very simply you will have to pay a tariff, differing amounts, but a tariff which will direct hundreds of billions of dollars and even trillions of dollars into our treasury to strengthen our economy and pay down debt. Under the Trump administration, there will be no better place on earth to create jobs, build factories, or grow a company than right here in the good old USA.
The reaction has been incredible. The market spiked on Trump speaking at the World Economic Forum. Trump is talking to the EU and the World Economic Forum is the energy you should carry into every single day. Globalists are terrified. Davos, the elites are in full panic mode. You can hear the trembling in their voices. Their grip on power is slipping. The election of Donald Trump has sent shockwaves through the globalist stronghold, shaking every foundation of their sinister plans. Trump just turned the WEF into the WTF. President Trump's speech to the WEF is a machine gun of American nationalism, and it is completely and totally glorious. Trump just mobbed Klaus Schwab and the entire World Economic Forum, and you're blackpilling. No, you're not. Oh, snap, Trump spanking Bank of America CEO to his face. So my entire timeline. Trump delivers fiery message. Here's some of the takeaways. Froze foreign aid, dismantling climate policies, withdrew from the Paris Climate Accords, ended the EV mandate, fast-tracking fossil fuels to put America first. The World Economic Forum vision is crumbling, and you can feel their panic. It is so unbelievably delicious to see the same World Economic Forum elites mocked, booed, and smeared Trump, now groveling desperately to please him, bitterly accepting his vision for America first. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, man. This is an incredible moment. An amazing moment. We're so happy to be a small part of it, to literally just play a note in bringing this, the great American century, back. And the only way you have a great American century is if America is great, and if we don't try and lessen the greatness of this nation by fitting into some type of global melting pot morass. Like, just because Europe sucks doesn't mean we have to suck. Just because other nations are third world nations doesn't mean we have to be a third world nation. Like, we can lift up the whole rest of the planet. They can all just follow in our footsteps. It's the way it's always been done. It's the way it always will be. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what being an American is all about. Donald Trump in epic fashion today. This guy's built for this. It's your boy Benny. We are built to cover the golden era. Follow us here.